Good day to all of you. I'm Damitha, the Chief Mindfulness Instructor at Vitality Mind. Today, in our Inside the Mind series, we will discuss about 5 factors that obstruct progress in your meditation. If you have tried meditating, you would have experienced that the biggest obstacle you have in advancing your practices is the fickle and unrestful nature of your mind. While we will discuss simple hacks and tricks to stop the unnecessary thoughts obstructing your practice in another session, today we will focus on the root causes that are causing this unrest in the mind. You may have experienced that in some days, meditation practice is pretty easy. Mind feels sharp and bright. On some days it seems the mind is dull and lethargic. There are 5 main factors that cloud the focusing ability of the mind. These 5 factors are like clouds covering the full moon. It reduces the brightness of the mind and our ability to attain strong mindfulness. These 5 factors are mental desires, anger, dullness, restlessness, and doubt residing in your mind. Now let's try to understand each of these factors one by one. The first factor is mental desires. Uncontrolled mental desires are one of the biggest obstacles you would face in your meditative practices. In some days of your practice, you may feel that the mind simply wants to go after different topic after topic. It might be about eating something you like. It might be about something you have seen, smelled or touched. Simplest way to dissipate a thought is to first identify that thought. Name the thought with your mind. Name it as a thought of desire. Let your mind know that it's distracting you. It would slowly dissolve away. But in some days, the power of these disturbances are too much. In such days you can overcome it by changing the meditation you do for that day to something like deep body meditation, which we will go through in another session. Anger or irritation is the second factor that affects our meditation. Irritation in mind may have been caused by an unwanted experience you had. Might be due to an argument with a loved one, or simply a disturbing noise that comes from the neighborhood. One way to overcome this is by simply start looking at the irritated thoughts on your mind. By looking at them, and by not adding more thoughts to it, you can dissipate the irritated thoughts. If the irritation persists, you can quickly move into a meditation technique, such as kindness meditation, for a few minutes, which can work as the antidote against anger or irritation. The third hindrance we face is the dullness of the mind. This is quite common when you start meditation. The mind tends to mistake the relaxation you got from your busy and active life as the time for a nap. But this might also be caused by tiredness or lack of sleep. So, if you are continuously feeling sleepy, check on yourself if you are getting enough sleep or rest. Another alternative is to try a meditation type such as walking meditation, which we'll explain in another session. Some simple interventions, such as washing your face, straightening your back, can help too. The fourth obstacle is the mental restlessness we feel in some days. This could be caused by something you have not been able to do, something you have done, or simply something bothering your mind. It's important to understand that this is just another sensation or a thought. Simply identifying the restlessness and being able to look at the restless thoughts helps to dissipate them. The last but definitely not the least of the obstacles is doubt. Doubt whether meditation will work for you. Doubt that the meditation practice is not improving over time, and so on. It's very important to identify that these are just thoughts. When these thought comes, identify and simply name them as thoughts of doubt. Knowing that progress will definitely come with experience will help you to avoid such mental states. It's very important to learn to identify these 5 obstacles from one another. A key thing to realize is these are mental states rather than thoughts. It's also important to understand that the mental states are direct results of thoughts. Therefore, if you need to change a mental state, you need to follow 2 steps. First step is to identify the negative thought that is driving the negative mental state and stop that thought. Simply identifying that thought and naming it as a negative thought is sufficient to stop or dissipate that thought. Then, you need to create opposite thoughts in order to generate a positive mental state. For example, if you currently have an angry or an irritated mind, opposite would be a kind and loving mind. If it is a desires mind, opposite would be a detached mind. If it's a dull and deflated mind, opposite is to generate an expanded mind. Always remember that the thoughts generate the mind, therefore the changes in the mind can occur very, very quickly. Only by being mindful of your thoughts, you can identify this changing nature of the mind. By being mindful throughout your day, you will start to see how fast your mind will change its states from positive to negative, negative to positives. First step is to see this change happening, and slowly start influencing your mind through carefully generated opposite thoughts. Once you are capable of influencing your mind, you become the master of the mind, rather than being in the mercy of an always changing mind. If you have the courage and the want to do it, you can grow to become the master of your mind.